Hey y'all, hello, how are you doing? Howdy, my name is Stephanie Bree. Welcome back to Bree's Toys and Games. Today we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons. And I've been watching a lot of doom and gloom D&D YouTubers, YouTube videos, and I've noticed a pattern. Like, about 75 to 80% of the so-called Dungeons and Dragons YouTubers don't make D&D content anymore. The vast majority of them are either doing two levels of non-D&D content. Level 1 is, here's a better RPG than D&D, and let's talk about why it's better than D&D, but they can't make that video without referencing and comparing it to D&D. Does that count as D&D content? The second level is the ones that are like, D&D is falling apart as a business, and what are we going to do about it, and what comes next, and why does Hasbro suck balls? So, the question I'm asking is Dungeons & Dragons as a brand, as a product line, really falling apart? We all know that the Hasbro layoffs pissed off the community. Like, really pissed off the community. As did the OGL scandal and their use of AI. It's just one scandal after another. And then you've got Critical Role that are launching their own alternative to Dungeons & Dragons, and they have a massive audience. And who the fuck knows what's going on with Stranger Things? And even if it does come back at this point, will it have the impact that it has had previously on getting new players into D&D? Or are people fed up with the brand at this point? Now, I know I don't currently have in my possession all three of the core 6th edition rulebooks. And I'm going to call it 6th edition, and I'm going to call anyone who doesn't an asshole. Whether you think I'm playing or just being a bitch, I don't care. Because it's 6th edition. Get over it. I've already done a video on it. I've already laid out my empirical, undeniable fucking evidence. And if you're willing to ignore undeniable fucking facts, then eat shit. And I'm gonna be hostile because it's goddamn 6th edition. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all these people that are tiptoeing around Hasbro's feelings. I don't give a fuck if I piss off Hasbro's executives. Okay? There. Now that I got that off my chest. I don't have the 3 books. I do have the Player's Handbook. I don't have the Dungeon Master's Guide or the Monster Manual. That doesn't mean I don't know what's in them, assholes. I can read PDFs online. Okay? The master document is online. And I can watch other people's videos where they show you what's in it. I don't have to have it in my possession to know what in the goddamn hell is in it, you cock-sucking son of a bitch. Freak of shit asshole cockroaches. Okay? So get off of me. You don't have the book. You can't say anything. Stick this up your butt and then blow your nose. Fucking dumbasses. I do know that 6th edition is not 5th edition. They have changed so much, and I'm not making this point because I'm harping on it being 6th edition. I'm making this point because the changes are so significant. There has been tremendous pushback against the changes. A lot of people are not happy with the changes. If it was just 5th edition, the changes wouldn't be devices because they would just be optional. You know, it would be a new rule. It would just be a new expansion book. It isn't. It's a whole new edition. And because it's a whole new edition, and because it's not well received, then a lot of people are getting upset and leaving either the hobby altogether or the brand. Okay? So now that I've got that cleared up, I'm going to, again, reiterate, is D&D as a brand falling apart? I'm not Professor Dungeon Master. I'm not Bob the World Builder. I don't look at the analytics or the sales data or deep dives. I don't go to conventions and count how many gamers there are, but I do know what I see, and what I see is a pattern of long-standing D&D YouTube channels no longer producing D&D content. That's big. I see the biggest D&D Let's Play channel, Critical Role, moving away from D&D. That's big. I see Hasbro constantly shitting on the fans. That's big. So even though I'm not actually sitting down and counting how many people are actually buying the books, because even if people are buying the books, that doesn't mean 6th edition is healthy. It just means that collectors are going to collect. Right here. That's me. I'm buying the books because I want the books, not because I'm going to read them and play the game. I collect 2nd edition stuff. I think 2nd edition is a garbage edition of the game. I don't know if I'll ever find a group of people willing to sit down and play 2nd edition. That's not going to stop me from buying the fucking books. That doesn't mean I'm a 2nd edition gamer. And that doesn't mean 2nd edition is healthy just because people are buying the books on the aftermarket. It just means there's a lot of people that own the books, for one reason or another. So, pointing at D&D sales data does not mean shit. It does not mean shit as to who's playing the fucking game. Now, if you see if you go to conventions or groups or libraries or wherever people play D&D, and you notice that they're not playing D&D anymore, or they're not playing 6th edition, they're sticking to 5th edition, or God forbid, trying out an older edition, or maybe one of the OSR editions or something, then that would be anecdotal, but it would still be evidence that, yeah, maybe the brand is dying. But strong sales of the books doesn't mean shit for the longevity of the game. And I'm talking about the core rule books, because let's play devil's advocate. Let's say they sell 100,000 copies of the 3 core rule books. That does not mean there's 100,000 6th edition players. It just means there's 100,000 core rule books in circulation. Now, the assumption would be that when they do the next, I don't know, Mordekainen's Tome of Foes or whatever, that book's going to sell 60,000 or 40,000 copies or whatever, because, they don't sell as well as the core rule books. That doesn't guarantee anything either. Now, at the end of the day, if gamers aren't playing the game, it doesn't matter to Hasbro as long as people are buying the books. But if people aren't playing the game, eventually collectors are going to lose interest, because it isn't just collectors that buy the books. Gamers have to buy the books too. If gamers leave the hobby and the only people buying the books are collectors, the collector market is not sustainable. That will kill the brand. So you can't achieve greatness in sales in a role-playing game if the gamers aren't buying your product. Because the collectors are going to buy everything, but we're such a small, insignificant portion of the market that our business dollars don't matter. And a lot of collectors don't have a problem buying aftermarket. So, unless a gamer buys the book in the first place, gets tired of it, and then has a used copy available for us to buy, then there's nothing for us to buy, and then we move on to other things. Which, again, if there's more used copies of the book in circulation than new copies being sold at retail, that kind of tells you that the market has rejected the book too. That is what happened at 4th edition. You can buy 4th edition books for pennies on the dollar all day long, because nobody fucking wants them, because nobody fucking played it. Because the people that bought it promptly returned it or traded it into their hobby store. And I mean promptly. I had the 3 core books in my possession for all of a day and a half before I took it back to the store and said, give me my motherfucking money back. This is not Dungeons and Dragons. Excuse me. So, again, I'm asking the question, is D&D really falling apart? I think the answer is yes. Is it going to collapse entirely and disappear from the market? I don't know. And I don't think anybody knows for certain if that's the case. But I do believe there is more than enough very tangible evidence that we can observe with our own eyes that tells us that it is absolutely falling apart. And I think Hasbro was scrambling because they don't know what the fuck to do. Because they assumed everybody was going to buy into the digital-only market without realizing or noticing the very real trend of people abandoning and rejecting digital-only and going back to physical stuff. Young people that are buying records and audio cassettes and VHS tapes and DVDs because they're fed up with the digital, you don't own anything even though you paid for it and bought it and have a license that says you allegedly own it. People are fed up with that. And it was a big mistake for Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast to say, let's buy into this digital marketplace when the market is backing away from digital. Not a good time to be Hasbro right now. That's all I have to say. And if I offended you and you're a good person and you're a friend of the channel, I'm sorry. Leave a comment saying, hey, yo, whoa. Leave a respectful comment and I'll try to be respectful if I offended you. And if you're one of those assholes that comes at me in the comments, well, I don't care. I'll just delete your comment anyways. So stay cool.